In the heart of Omaha, Nebraska, far from the towering skyscrapers of Wall Street, a young boy named Warren Buffett placed a bet, one that would shape his entire approach to life and investing. It wasn't a $1 million gamble. In fact, it was a humble $1 wager, but behind that simple bet lay a mindset that would one day make him one of the world's wealthiest and most admired investors. To understand the billionaire mindset, you have to step back to where it all began, long before the Forbes lists, annual shareholder letters, and the Berkshire Hathaway empire. In the 1940s, while most kids were playing baseball or trading comic books, Warren was fascinated by numbers and patterns. At age 6, he made his first profit by selling bottles of Coca-Cola door to door. But it wasn't just about the money, it was the thrill of understanding how money grew. Warren's fascination with money turned into an obsession. By the time he was 10 years old, he had already read every book on investing he could find at the Omaha Public Library twice. But it was at age 11 when he made his first investment in Citi's Service preferred stock that the spark became a flame. He bought 3 shares at $38 each. When the stock dipped to $27, he felt the gut-wrenching panic familiar to many investors. But he held on. Eventually, the stock climbed back to $40 and he sold, pocketing a tiny profit. Yet, here's where the magic of Buffett's mindset began to reveal itself. After he sold, the stock surged to $200 a share, a lesson that would stick with him forever. Patience pays off. But the most important shift in Buffett's thinking didn't come from a trade. It came from a $1 bet, a seemingly insignificant gesture that would plant the seed for a lifetime philosophy. The year was 1942. At just 12 years old, Warren Buffett had become a regular at the racetrack, not to watch the horses but to study the odds. He was intrigued by how the system worked. Why did people place bets? Why did most lose? And why did a rare few always seem to win? One day, after watching a string of gamblers lose their hard-earned cash, Warren turned to his best friend and made a bold claim. "If you understand the odds and play the long game, you'll always come out ahead," he said. His friend laughed, doubting that any kid could outsmart the system. So they made a bet $1. Warren wagered that by reinvesting small winnings consistently, he could turn a single dollar into something far greater. And that's exactly what he did. He started by carefully observing patterns in betting. Instead of chasing quick wins like most gamblers, Warren focused on the law of probability. His strategy was simple: find small but consistent advantages and let the power of compounding do the rest. Within weeks, Warren had turned his $1 into $5, then $10, and soon over $100, a small fortune for a boy in 1942. But it wasn't about the money. What mattered was the realization that patience and compounding were the real secret to wealth. This simple $1 bet would become the foundation of Buffett's future empire. While others chased fast money, Warren Buffett embraced a different path: slow, patient, and disciplined accumulation. What most people didn't understand, but Warren grasped at a young age, was that small amounts of money could become extraordinary sums if left to grow over time. It wasn't just a theory. It was a law of nature, the magic of compounding. Here's how Buffett described it later in life. "Life is like a snowball. The important thing is finding wet snow and a really long hill." The snowball was small at first, a $1 bet. But Warren knew that with enough time and the right conditions, that snowball could become unstoppable. By the age of 14, he had accumulated $1,200, earned from odd jobs and his growing understanding of investing. Instead of spending it, he bought 40 acres of farmland in Nebraska and rented it out for profit. At an age when most kids were worried about homework, Buffett was learning how to make money work for him. But the core idea came back to that $1 bet. Small, consistent actions, when repeated over time, create extraordinary results. By the time Warren Buffett entered high school, the lesson from that $1 bet had transformed into a lifelong philosophy. Small, smart decisions repeated consistently lead to extraordinary results. While most teenagers were dreaming of fast cars and weekend dances, Warren had already made up his mind. He wanted to be a millionaire by the age of 30. But unlike the gamblers at the racetrack, Warren wasn't looking for shortcuts. He understood that real wealth wasn't built overnight. It was built through patience, discipline, and the relentless power of compounding. At 16 years old, Warren had already saved over $5,000, equivalent to nearly $100,000 today, from delivering newspapers, selling golf balls, and running a pinball machine business. But he wasn't content with just saving. Buffett knew that money sitting idle was money wasted. Inspired by the lessons of that $1 bet, Warren began to view every dollar as a seed, something that, if planted correctly, could grow into a massive financial tree. His guiding question became, how much could this dollar become if I never spent it? By the time he enrolled at the University of Nebraska, Warren was reading over 600 pages a day, devouring every financial report and business analysis he could find. But it wasn't just academic knowledge. Warren was putting his compounding mindset into action. One of his most famous investments during this period was a struggling company called Geico, an insurance business that most people overlooked. But Buffett saw something others didn't. Insurance companies, when run correctly, generated float, money collected from premiums that could be invested before any claims were paid out. This was compounding on steroids, and Warren recognized that if he could find businesses like Geico, his wealth would multiply exponentially. While others chased short-term gains, Warren Buffett had the patience to play the long game. This mindset, born from that $1 bet, became his superpower. In the 1950s, when most investors were obsessed with quick wins, Buffett's philosophy was radically different. Buy businesses, not stocks. Instead of focusing on stock prices, Warren looked for companies with long-term value. He wasn't interested in trading, he wanted to own great businesses forever. Let compounding do the heavy lifting. Warren didn't aim for the biggest immediate returns. He understood that consistent, predictable growth over decades was far more powerful than any get-rich-quick scheme. Ignore the noise, market crashes, economic downturns, and sensational headlines didn't faze him. Why? Because he believed that time in the market was more important than timing the market. One of the best examples of this mindset was his investment in American Express during a financial scandal in the 1960s. Most investors panicked and dumped their shares. Warren, however, recognized that the core business was still strong and profitable. He invested $13 million, a massive sum at the time. Decades later, that investment was worth billions. By the time Warren Buffett turned 30, he had already reached his goal of becoming a millionaire. But he wasn't slowing down. Every decision he made was rooted in that fundamental belief. Small actions, compounded over time, lead to extraordinary results. In 1965, Buffett took control of Berkshire Hathaway, a failing textile business. Most people thought it was a strange move. But Warren wasn't interested in textiles. He was interested in using the company's cash flow to buy other businesses. He poured those profits into insurance companies, banks, and consumer brands, always applying his core principles. Find value others overlook. Stay patient when others panic. Let time and compounding do the work. Fast forward to today, and that once struggling textile company, Berkshire Hathaway, is worth over $800 billion. A single share of Berkshire stock, which Buffett initially purchased for $7.60, is now valued at over $500,000. And to think, it all started with a $1 bet and a mindset that most people never adopt. If Warren Buffett's mindset is so simple, why don't more people become billionaires? The answer lies in human nature. Most people are impatient. They want quick results and instant gratification. But Buffett knew that real wealth requires time, and most aren't willing to wait. He often said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." While others chase the next hot stock, Buffett focuses on boring but reliable businesses, the kind that churn out profits year after year. Consider this: if you had invested just $1,000 with Warren Buffett when he took over Berkshire Hathaway in 1965, your investment would be worth over $30 million today. Warren Buffett's rise from a curious boy making a $1 bet at the racetrack to the Oracle of Omaha wasn't built on luck, it was built on a mindset anyone can adopt. At the core of that mindset is a simple truth: it's not about how much you start with, it's about how consistently you grow it over time. While most people are chasing the latest trends or hoping for overnight success, Buffett stayed loyal to his guiding principles: patience, discipline, and the power of compounding. These principles didn't just make him a billionaire, they became a blueprint for anyone who wants to build lasting wealth. Buffett often says, "I don't look to jump over 7-foot bars, I look for 1-foot bars that I can step over." This philosophy explains why his approach works for anyone, no matter their starting point. Instead of waiting for a life-changing opportunity, Buffett focused on small, smart decisions made consistently. Think about this. If you invest $1 a day at a 10% annual return, the average of the U.S. stock market, after 50 years, you'd have nearly $150,000. But if you wait to start for 10 years, that amount drops to $55,000. Time is the difference maker. Buffett knew that compounding doesn't reward those who start big, it rewards those who start early and stick with it. And here's the secret: most people underestimate how quickly small habits add up. He believed that every dollar he earned wasn't just a dollar, it was a seed that could grow into hundreds, thousands, or even millions over time. That's why he avoided wasting money on things that didn't compound in value. While most people focus on what to buy, Warren Buffett focused on how to think. His billionaire mindset wasn't just about investments, it touched every part of his life. Here are 3 ways Buffett applied his philosophy beyond the stock market. He lived below his means. Despite being a billionaire, Buffett still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Why? Because he understands that money spent on unnecessary luxuries can't compound. For Buffett, every dollar spent frivolously was a missed opportunity to turn it into something greater. This doesn't mean living in poverty, but it does mean focusing on what truly brings long-term value. He protected his time like an investment. Buffett famously said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." Just like he protects his capital, Buffett protects his time. He spends 80% of his day reading, a habit he's maintained for decades because he believes knowledge compounds just like money. He avoided emotional decisions. During the 2008 financial crisis, when markets were in free fall and panic spread worldwide, Buffett did the opposite of what most people did: he bought more. He knew that fear-driven decisions destroy wealth. His philosophy was simple: be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Because of this mindset, he was able to buy world-class companies at discount prices, investments that made him billions in the years that followed. Buffett's famous snowball analogy isn't just about investing, it applies to everything in life. Skills: learning one new thing every day compounds into mastery over time. Relationships: small acts of kindness and trust build deep, lasting bonds. Health: daily habits like exercising or eating well lead to lifelong well-being. He understood something profound: the things you do daily shape your future. And just like that $1 bet, every small action has the power to grow into something extraordinary. If Warren Buffett's mindset is so simple, why doesn't everyone follow it? The answer is, it's not easy. Impatience: most people want fast results. Buffett spent decades building his fortune, not weeks or months. Emotional decisions: fear and greed cause people to make rash moves. Buffett stays calm while others panic. Lack of consistency: it's not the big moves that create wealth, it's the small, repeated actions. Buffett's secret is that he isn't smarter or luckier than anyone else, he simply follows a system that works over the long term. And this system works whether you're investing in the stock market, building a business, or improving yourself. If you want to adopt the billionaire mindset, here's how to start. Think long-term. Imagine where a decision will lead 10, 20, or 30 years from now, not just next month. Focus on compounding. Invest in areas where small, consistent actions create exponential results. Stay patient. The biggest returns come to those who wait. Don't give up just because progress feels slow. Avoid unnecessary risks. Buffett doesn't gamble. He invests only when he understands the game and the odds are in his favor. The truth is, anyone can adopt this mindset, but few people will. Most people will continue to chase shortcuts, while those who understand the power of compounding will quietly build empires, just like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's mindset isn't magic, it's mathematics and discipline. While most people get distracted by quick wins and overnight schemes, Buffett focuses on what works over the long haul. Every dollar he invested was a reflection of that first $1 bet, a bet on certainty, compounding, and patience. His success wasn't luck. It was the result of decades of applying simple, timeless principles that anyone can follow. In this part, let's dive deeper into Buffett's most famous investments and the life-changing lessons you can apply right now. In 1963, American Express, one of the most respected financial companies, was drowning in scandal. The company had guaranteed loans to a salad oil business that turned out to be a massive fraud. When the truth came out, American Express faced huge losses and their stock price collapsed. Most investors ran for the exits. After all, who wants to own shares of a company caught in a scandal? But Warren Buffett thought differently. He didn't react emotionally. Instead, he asked a simple question. Is the core business still strong? Buffett investigated. He visited restaurants and department stores to see if people were still using American Express cards, and they were. Despite the scandal, the brand remained trusted by consumers. So, while others panicked, Buffett invested $13 million, a massive portion of his fund at the time. That bold move turned into billions over the following decades. The lesson: when others panic, stay rational. If the core of a business or your own strategy is strong, stick with it even when times get tough. By the mid-1980s, Warren Buffett was already a millionaire many times over, but his most iconic investment was still ahead. After the 1987 stock market crash, Buffett saw a golden opportunity in a brand loved worldwide, Coca-Cola. While many investors feared more market downturns, Buffett knew one truth: people will always drink Coke. He understood that Coca-Cola wasn't just a soft drink, it was a global brand with enduring consumer loyalty. So, while others hesitated, Buffett invested $1 billion in Coca-Cola stock, at the time the biggest bet of his career. Today, that investment is worth over $25 billion, and Buffett still earns hundreds of millions in dividends every year. The lesson: invest in things that stand the test of time. Whether it's a product, a skill, or a habit, focus on what never goes out of style. For years, Warren Buffett avoided technology stocks. He didn't invest in companies he didn't understand. But by 2016, he recognized that Apple wasn't just a tech company, it was a consumer powerhouse with a product people loved. He saw how loyal customers were to iPhones and believed Apple's ecosystem, from hardware to services, was built to last. So, despite his traditional views on technology, Buffett made a massive bet on Apple, investing tens of billions. That one decision added over $100 billion to Berkshire Hathaway's value, making it the most profitable investment in his career. The lesson: be open to evolving while staying true to your core principles. Buffett didn't chase every new tech trend, but when he found a company that fit his long-term philosophy, he acted. Buffett's mindset is the opposite of most investors. While others rush toward what's popular, he actively avoids fads and hype cycles. He doesn't chase cryptocurrency. He doesn't gamble on startups. Why? Because he knows that most trends fade, but fundamentals last forever. His approach is simple. If a business can't survive 10 years, he won't touch it. If he can't explain it to a 12-year-old, he won't buy it. While the world obsesses over quick wins, Buffett's fortune grows because he focuses on what actually works. The lesson: don't chase the next big thing, bet on proven ideas that work across decades, not months. One of the most powerful parts of Buffett's mindset isn't what he invests in, it's what he avoids. He's famous for saying no to 99% of the opportunities that come his way. Even if something looks promising, he'll pass if it doesn't align with his core principles. Buffett once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." This doesn't just apply to money, it applies to life. Buffett guards his time, energy, and focus as carefully as he guards his investments. The lesson: protect your focus. The more you say no to distractions, the faster your small wins will compound. You don't need billions to adopt Buffett's mindset. Here are 3 steps you can take right now. Think in decades, not days. Stop chasing quick wins. Ask yourself, will this decision make my life better in 10 years? Invest in what you understand. Whether it's your money or your time, focus only on areas you deeply understand and believe in. Be patient but consistent. Wealth and success isn't built overnight. Focus on daily habits that compound over time, because the magic happens when you stay the course. By now, it's clear that Warren Buffett's journey from a $1 bet to becoming one of the wealthiest people on earth wasn't luck, it was a result of his billionaire mindset. But there's more to the story. Behind the headlines and billion-dollar deals lies a simple truth: the principles Buffett lives by aren't just for the wealthy, they work for anyone willing to apply them consistently. In this final part, we'll dive into Buffett's surprising habits, the mental frameworks that guide his decisions, and the practical steps you can take to build your own financial empire. If you asked Warren Buffett for the secret to success, he'd probably hand you a book. Buffett estimates that he spends 80% of his day reading. From newspapers to financial reports, he devours information because he believes knowledge compounds just like money. When asked about his daily routine, Buffett once said, "I just sit in my office and read all day." This habit isn't just about staying informed, it's about building a mental library that sharpens his decision-making. The lesson: commit to the 5-hour rule, spend 1 hour a day, 5 days a week learning. Over time, this knowledge will give you a competitive edge others can't match. One of the most powerful ideas in Buffett's mindset is the circle of competence, the concept that you should only make decisions in areas you deeply understand. Buffett doesn't invest in businesses he doesn't grasp. That's why he avoided the dot-com bubble and why he didn't chase cryptocurrency. He knows that staying in your lane reduces mistakes and increases the odds of success. The lesson: identify your circle of competence, the skills, industries, or topics where you have deep knowledge, and focus your energy there. Buffett's life is proof that patience pays off. While most people want instant results, Buffett understands that the biggest rewards come to those who wait. Take his Coca-Cola investment. He didn't sell when the stock doubled. Instead, he held on for decades, turning a $1 billion bet into $25 billion. He believes that true wealth isn't built by flipping investments, it's built by holding on to great opportunities and allowing them to grow. The lesson: delay gratification. Resist the urge to cash out early and trust that compounding will reward you if you stay patient. Buffett doesn't ask others to take risks he wouldn't take himself. Nearly 99% of his net worth is tied to Berkshire Hathaway, the company he built. He's never sold his shares to cash out, and he doesn't take lavish salaries. Instead, he earns when his investors earn. The lesson: put skin in the game. Whether it's your business, your investments, or your goals, bet on yourself. When you're personally invested, you're more likely to make smarter, long-term decisions. Buffett often says, if you want to build real wealth, imagine you have a punch card with only 20 slots for your entire life. Every time you make a major investment or decision, you punch a hole. Once the card is full, you can't make any more bets. This philosophy forces him to be extremely selective. Instead of chasing every opportunity, Buffett makes fewer, bigger bets, and that focus is why he wins. The lesson: be selective. Focus on a few high-quality opportunities instead of spreading yourself thin. One of Buffett's greatest strengths isn't financial, it's emotional control. During the 2008 financial crisis, when fear gripped the world, Buffett didn't panic. While others sold in a frenzy, Buffett bought undervalued companies, making billions when the market recovered. Why? Because he understood that emotions destroy wealth. By staying rational when others lose their heads, he turns crisis into opportunity. The lesson: master your emotions. Whether it's fear during tough times or greed during booms, stay calm and follow logic, not feelings. Buffett knows his wealth isn't just about money. It's about wisdom. That's why he actively teaches his children and future generations to value simplicity over complexity, hard work over entitlement, integrity over shortcuts. He's pledged to donate 99% of his fortune to philanthropy, proving that true success is about giving back. The lesson: share your knowledge. The real legacy isn't what you earn. It's the wisdom you pass on. You don't need $1 billion to adopt Warren Buffett's mindset. You just need to take action. Here's your roadmap. Start small, but start now, don't wait. Whether it's investing $1 or learning a new skill, the sooner you begin, the greater the impact. Think long-term. Every decision should pass the 10-year test. Will this choice benefit you a decade from now? Invest in yourself. Spend time reading, learning, and building your circle of competence. Be patient and consistent. Wealth and success compounds over time. Trust the process. Focus on quality over quantity. Make fewer decisions but make better ones. Warren Buffett's journey began with a $1 bet, a small action that sparked a lifetime of learning. His success isn't about intelligence or luck. It's about mindset. And the best part? Anyone can follow his formula. The real question is, what small bet will you make today that could change your future forever? The next chapter of your story is waiting, and it starts with one decision. The billionaire mindset is yours to adopt. If you're willing to think long-term, trust the power of compounding, and stay the course. Want to dive deeper into wealth-building secrets? Stay tuned to our YouTube channel Investment Stories for more insights inspired by the world's greatest investors.